If you have been feeling a weight, a heaviness, exhaustion at points, you are not alone in this. And this is why I'm doing this video. I'm going to talk about the energy that you're feeling. This is not just tiredness. If you have been getting enough sleep and if you have been using spiritual tools, meditation, or personal development practices. And so I'm going to be sharing a very specific technique with you today, which my hope is it will give you a little bit of peace and calm to know that you can navigate through these challenging times. I'm Joanna Garzali. Thank you for tuning in and trusting for me to guide you on this spiritual journey here today. Please do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel where I'll be sharing different tools at times, from psychic development to spiritual coaching, in a practical, applicable way. These tools are so that you can use them in the real world, in your life, and see progress. So I had a question come in from Jen, and Jen said to me, the invisible energy you're carrying, like, how do you release it? Okay, so I'm going to just show you a diagram right here. And if you can see this, here, let me just peek over. It's disappearing in and out here. So a before and after. Okay, so on the left here, you can see that this would be a person that is carrying a lot of energy. This is like if you are feeling absolutely exhausted, if you are feeling wiped out, if you are just not understanding maybe why a particular job or relationship feels heavy for you. When you look at this, the person and the energy field here, you can just see that they are weighed down by many things. They do not have the ability to see clearly. They feel cut off from their power, from their potential. They don't have insight. They may feel foggy in their head. They may not have energy to work out. And then the other diagram there you can see afterwards is someone that they have been able to release themselves from that energy. So let me get into explaining a little bit more about this and how you can use a technique for your own life. So sometimes when I do a reading for someone, I will see things clairvoyantly. For those of you who are new to understanding about psychic things, clairvoyance is when you can see invisible energy. We all have that ability. It's a muscle to be worked. It's a practice that you can learn in time. And there are different levels of clairvoyance. For many years, I thought that unless you could see an angel standing in front of you in Technicolor, then that wasn't true psychic ability, that wasn't true clairvoyance. But I would say about 85% of people, their clairvoyance is a knowing seeing. So it's a sense of seeing something in front of you. As you work on developing those skills, you can start to see auras, you can see energy, you can see different shapes, and even one can get to the point where that's a whole different topic, but is on psychic mediumship. And if you're interested in understanding more about actually being able to see loved ones on the other side, then let me know in the comments. Here, when we look at being able to see this energy, this is more of where you can have a knowing seeing. And the way you would do this, let's say you want to get a handle on, you're feeling exhausted, you're feeling wiped out. You go, why am I feeling what I'm feeling? You just sit down, and maybe you want to just go and you could do this later as well. But if you want to go along with this right now, you could just get a piece of paper and get a pen, get a pen. Here it is. And then just sit quietly. Take a moment to just sit, get centered in yourself. And the simplest way to get centered in yourself is to be able to bring your awareness to your heart or to your belly. And if it feels good to you, you can close your eyes. You don't have to, but you can just close your eyes and you will have a sense of moving into your inner landscape. How do you know you're in your inner landscape? How do you know you're getting connected into your intuition? You just have a sense of, I feel peaceful. I feel calm. I'm not feeling anxiety, fear, stress, judgment, pain. So that is one simple way to know you're connected in. From there, you can take a deep inhale and exhale. And you might want to go through a number of repetitions of this. You don't have to do 10, 15, 20 minutes of meditation to get connected in. Think of it like taking a plug and putting it into a socket. That plug you into spiritual understanding, divine source, God of your understanding, great spirit, whatever that is to you, but it is a positive connection. That's the most important thing to know. Then you would draw a little stick figure of yourself or something like this, which looks a little bit like here. I've done like a gingerbread man, gingerbread woman, gingerbread personality. And from there, you're just going to take your pen and you're just going to start to sketch. The most important thing of how do you get to understand what's in your energy field? Don't think about, is there something dark? Is there something heavy? You just let yourself start to sketch, right? So this is what I did here for Jen when she was asking about what was happening. Oh, here we go. Let's bring it back. Next time I got to put this, actually like scan this in so that you can see it easily. And so when I did this for Jen, this is what I could see with her, what was coming up because she was asking, why am I carrying this pain, trauma, and guilt? Why do I feel this way? Before we get to the why, we need to look at what is there, how much energy is there, and then where is it in the field? Once we are able to identify that, so in Jen's case here, and looking at the psychic drawing, she is carrying a lot of it around her head, right? So she's carrying this around a lot of in her head, right? Not just around her head, but in her head as well. And then this blocked up her throat. Then it started to stop her taking actions in her life, right? You can see in the arms, it's a feeling of my hands, and then my hands are not just tied, it's just I'm having to carry the weight of so many. It started to have an effect on the right side of her body, her liver, but also going across to her spleen. And then if you look down to the feet, it's as if this sense of being stuck in mud, sort of being in mud and quicksand. Now, this is where clairvoyance starts to also lead into other psychic senses, whereas one looks at the drawing, allow yourself to go with those first impressions received. Perhaps a specific memory comes up of a time in your life when you look at what that energy is like, and just trust that. You're not necessarily going to get all the answers or remove the energy immediately in one sitting, because a lot of the time, for example, what I see here with Jen, some of these different weights that were hanging from her hands, is that these are relationships that she has felt guilty, where she has felt she has to carry those people. And different types of psychic drawings will show certain things. But today I wanted to just give you a broader strokes perspective of what it looks like when you are carrying burdens, when you are carrying the weight of decisions you've made or relationships that just feel heavy. So as you get to the point where you go, okay, I can see here. So in Jen's case, right, and let me go, okay, in Jen's case where we can see here, right, if you were to look at that, what would you feel? So there are definitely, what I see here are two significant relationships, specifically, especially the one where you can see the three balls of weight going off of the left hand. This is showing that it relates to her family. This relates to Jen's family. And then there has been a significant relationship around a partner that she is with that is causing a lot of confusion. So again, as I share these insights for Jen, let me know in the comments if you relate to any of this for yourself. Does any of this make sense for you? And also something that I think that's coming to mind now, I might do sort of like how people do tarot and they'll show, say, three different cards and you pick one of three. I will do three different psychic drawings. You can pick one and I'll do a reading off of that for what the energy is for the day. I haven't done that before, but I think that that could be really, really insightful and helpful. Because why do you want to be able to see these things? Why do you want to be able to see that energy? Because once you can see, suddenly you don't feel like you're going crazy anymore. This question of what is wrong with me? Why do I feel so wiped out? This is why you feel so wiped out. As soon as you can see that and you get those intuitive impressions, then you can make a decision and say, well, first of all, you can sort of feel some relief because you can see what's there, and then you can start to unpack it. Then you can say, okay, I really need to think more about what my interaction is with my family, or this relationship here with this significant other. I need to make some changes, but just know that you don't have to make all the changes at once. Making change is scary. People say, I want to change, I want transformation. I'm ready. But when push comes to shove, it means that there can be a lot of different things that have a cascading effect that you might not feel emotionally ready for. So I would say, especially if you are sensitive and you are resonating with this, go gently, build your strength first before making a big decision of getting out of a relationship. When you see something from that psychic drawing, give yourself 30 days so that you can keep coming back to, say, the drawing that you have, and know that the journey, right? The journey from here to here, it takes a number of steps. And so then you're going to create an action plan for that. So for Jen, her first step to go from a before to a after would just be inquiry, sitting quietly and thinking about what are the relationships where I feel weight right now, and just being able to observe, and then asking herself, what part have I played in those relationships that has negatively impacted me and my loved ones? And if there were one thing that I needed to know right now, what would that be? And then letting that come intuitively. So the whole point of being able to tune in is to empower yourself and to be able to trust your intuition more. If you have any other questions around psychic drawing, please do also put those in the comments, and you can connect with me at joannagarzilli.com, and I look forward to connecting with you next time.